Hello and welcome to Writing Wednesday. I'm Coach Brenda Hare. Happy to be here today talking about B-roll. So first, let's talk about what B-roll is, and then we'll talk about how you can use it. A lot of content right now that's really generating interest is actually B-roll, which is the difference, right? It used to be you had to show your face, people wanted to connect with you, blah, 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 blah. Well, it's changed. People don't necessarily want to connect with us anymore, apparently. They want to be nosy. They want to know what's going on behind the scenes. So, I want to share with you 5 tips for it, but let's talk about what B-roll is. So, if you think about a movie, um, it's usually shown in the beginning of a movie. So, if you start watching a movie, it's the part I fast forward through often. It's the person's walking through town and they're just showing the person walking. There's no dialogue. It's the secondary footage, basically, right? It may be giving some context to what's going on in the primary footage, but it's the secondary footage. So when you think about it, just think about it really as a behind the scenes. And I'm going to give you 5 specific um, overthinking topic, overarching, there's the word I'm looking for, overarching topics that you can kind of pick up on. And in the comments or in the description below, I put a couple of resources that you can use as far as tools. So I've talked before about my clicky do. I don't even know where it is. I usually have it right here. Um, it is basically a remote control for a tripod. So you would put your camera up on your tripod and you could get some B-roll. So maybe it's you want to just get a picture of you walking by. You can put your camera up and you can click it on with your clicky do and just walk by and then take a picture. And you think this sounds ridiculous. And why would people want to watch that? But they do. People want back behind the scenes footage. They want to know what's going on. What can they see? Um, let me know in the comments if you're watching live or even on the replay. Let me know if you are interested in behind the scenes. Like if you would like to see some behind the scenes of my life as an author, let me know in the comments. Just put behind the scenes. So hello to all the authors that are on right now. I got Kim, I got Jan, I got Laura, I got Lisa. Thank you guys for being here. Those are the names I can see. If there's more of you here live, forgive me for not seeing your name or your comment, but welcome and thank you for being here. Okay, so let's dive into some actual behind the scenes type of content you can share. Okay. Kim says, yes, it gives insight to who you are as a person. I know people engage with that more. Yes, they want to know like the behind the scenes. They want to see things that are happening. They want to be inspired by that. And to be honest, they're kind of tired of talking heads, right? People get tired of it. So Jan says she's ready for some behind the scenes knowledge. Lisa says she's ready for some behind the scenes knowledge. So I am going to take this challenge along with you guys. If you noticed the last challenge I gave you guys about showing up for your audience, all of that, I've taken it. I've got You Matter Mondays every Monday now. We've had 2 so far. And I've taken the challenge that I gave you guys. I've gone live. I showed up the same time, right? The challenge was show up the same time every week, whatever that is for you. And I've done it. So if you've done it, say done it. If you took that challenge and you held it for the last 2 weeks, say done it. If you haven't done it and you will do it, say I will. And remember, it doesn't have to be, you don't have to go live. You don't have to go live. You can just post a video. We're going to talk about some B-roll videos you can post today. And you can also make a post where it's the same type of post every day on that, whatever your frequency is. So if it was a You Matter Monday post instead of a You Matter Monday live, I would just write out my content and post it the same time every Monday. So my audience would know at 11 o'clock on Monday, this post is going to show up on Facebook, or this email is going to go in their inbox, or so whatever it is. Okay. Lisa says done it, but different times. Okay. So now we'll try to focus in on having the same time, Lisa, so that it's consistent and people know when to expect it. Right. That way it's not so scattered and people just don't happen upon it. But if you can start getting consistent in your frequency with it, you'll start seeing more engagement and people looking forward to it. And people will even ask you like, where were you? I didn't see your post, right? So get consistent with it. Okay, let's talk about some behind the scenes stuff because I know showing your face and going live is tough. It's tough for everyone. It's tough for me. I don't usually watch back my lives just because I don't want to critique myself over and over and over. I know some people are like, you should watch it back and know what you do wrong and get better and blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, I don't, maybe I'm not a strong enough person for that. I don't know what to tell you, but I don't want to see all that. I don't want to know all the things I did wrong. I just want to focus on serving you guys and the feedback that I get, making the corrections there, answering the questions that I get, those types of things. So it's not the hiccups. Like I'm just being myself. So if that's not enough, then it's not enough, right? But God tells me it is. So I'm going to believe in him and I'm just going to show up and do it and not overly think it. That's the biggest number one problem. You stop thinking about it and just do it. Okay. So here we go. Number one way is you can show some behind the scenes of writing rituals or your workspace. Okay. So maybe you have a cozy chair that you sit in, or maybe that you have like seriously a ritual. Maybe you get a specific cup of coffee. You're gathering your post-it notes. You're gathering your pen. You're gathering your laptop. Whatever it is, you can literally film. And if you use the tool that I put in the resources, I think I called it light and camera holder or something like that. It can film from overhead, right? So you put your camera in it and you turn it on, and then you could literally start adding things into the picture frame, right? Adding things into the frame. And now you're showing like your rituals. So let's just say this was mine, okay? I could start adding in like, here's my drink. Now I'm not showing my face. Like if it was, think about the camera for being over here, right? I'm setting this on the table. The camera's filming from above. I'm setting my essential oil on the table. I'm setting my pen on the table. Do you see what I'm getting? So it's the camera's filming from above and we're just adding the things in and we're calling it our writing ritual. Okay. Maybe it's above and you're actually showing some journaling, or you're highlighting some notes that you've already journaled, or maybe you're highlighting in a book. If you're using the book writing process, maybe you're highlighting in that book and you're showing that and you're saying, I'm working on my behind the scenes stuff today, blah, blah, blah. Maybe it's you literally brew coffee or tea. I know Lisa posted a behind the scenes. You did a great job. Lisa, see, you already did it. She did a post of B-roll, but it was a post. She posted a tea from her writer's retreat box and some of the little candy treats that were in there. And she posted, I had a great writing time today and I'm rewarding myself with these things from my writer's retreat box. She did it. That is exactly it, right? And so she did it as a static post, but she took a picture of the items and she posted it. That is going to gain interest. People, I'm curious, Lisa, do you know how many comments you got on that post? How much versus other things you're posting, right? Are you getting traction on that? Now, Lisa posts quite a bit and she gets a lot of traction because people love her story. But that behind the scenes is people are like, oh, like she got to talk about the fact that I am writing a book, like she's putting it out there in the universe using that behind the scenes. So good job on that, Lisa. So absolutely, you could literally put a candle in the frame. Again, camera's up here. You're putting a candle down here, a teacup, and you could show yourself lighting the candle. So your hand would be in it, right? Lighting the candle, pouring the tea or pouring the water in the cup or the coffee or whatever. And those two things could be, and I know it sounds absurd. It sounds absurd to me, but I have to confess, I have watched such videos. I have watched them. It's relaxing, right? It's relaxing to watch people doing this type of thing. And it kind of puts you in that mindset of, oh, that tea smells good, even though you can't smell it, right? But it's puts you in that sense. And so people like that. So I know it sounds crazy, but look at the videos you're watching. I'm sure you're already consuming B-roll footage and you're not even paying attention to the fact that you are. Okay. The second thing is to show your book in everyday life. And now we ideally want to create as much B-roll footage, which is truly video, as possible. But you can also do like Lisa did with the static photography. But let's say you can put your book on a park bench and you literally video walking by that book on the park bench. And maybe you video walking up to it and then zooming in so that people can actually see the whole book. Maybe you put it on a book stack. Maybe you video a friend actually holding it and reading it. Maybe somebody videos you holding it and reading it. If you don't have your book yet, maybe it's your manuscript pages and you're just flipping through and showing that, right? But it's an everyday life picture of your book. Maybe it's sitting on a table with some coffee or some tea, or you're tucking it in a bag to go somewhere. All of these different things, right? You want to show actual life application, right, for your book. Okay, so that's number two. Your book in your everyday life, whether it's your book or your manuscript, depending on where you are. And here's the little secret: if you don't want to print off your entire manuscript because you don't edit that way, you don't have to. Print off a couple pages. The rest of the pages can be blank and you can just thumb through them. Or you can gather other random pages from your house and, it doesn't have to be your full manuscript right there. You can fake it a little bit if you don't want to print out your full manuscript. Because I know in my first book, I printed out my manuscript often and I have all those copies still. And it's like this thick, and it's a lot of paper. That's a lot of printing. And so you don't have to print your full manuscript. But you certainly can if you want to. Okay. I know for Laura, she has binders and binders and binders of poetry that she has. That's how she sorted it, was physically sorting it. You could literally flip through the binder. You don't have to zoom in on anything, but you could show like some of those binders behind the scenes. Like these are turning into actual books. And what a fun one it would be to take the binder and flip through it and then show the book at the end when your book's done. That would be awesome. Okay, number 3, showing nature walks and inspiring moments. Kim has nailed this, you guys. She took on this challenge for the marketing sprint. From the marketing sprint, we talked about using small videos that you're getting from free video content places like Canva, Pixabay, Pixel, all these places you can get free video and start using this. And Kim, have you seen engagement go up with these nature walks, these pictures that you're using? I know I've stopped my scroll several times on your videos because I love the nature walks, right? I'm big into the nature and the mountains and all of it. And so when I see those pictures, I'm like, oh, hold on, what is this? So it stops my scroll. So you could do maybe somebody walking on a nature trail. Maybe it's you, maybe it's not, right? You can grab free footage. Somebody sitting by the ocean. I've been using those on my footage for the beach retreat of waves coming and crashing and all of that. You could do, a sunset or a sunrise if it's in, what's it called? Time lapse, where it happens quickly. You can use some of those kind of things. You can film yourself journaling or praying outside with the, environment that you live in. Maybe you have a pretty flower garden. Lisa has she does a lot of these outdoor types of posts. She has a beautiful garden. And so posting those types of things, right? Maybe it's just symbolic shots that represent the topic of your book. So think creatively and maybe even ask chat, like, what are some symbols in nature that would represent this topic, and then drop in the topic of your book and let chat tell you what to go look for in nature to film some of this, right? Okay, so that's number 3. Number 4 is behind the scenes of book events. Now, some of you have had book events, some of you haven't, some of you are well on your way to having some, but you can actually start now, even though you're not there yet. You can start filming yourself packing for the event. So maybe you have picked out your outfit that you're going to wear on your book launch. Maybe you've picked out your favorite pen. Like I think I got it right here. I recently bought a ton of these pens on sale. I hate to tell you where I got them because now they're closed and you can't get them anymore. But I always sign in like a turquoisey blue to match my books, right? And all of these were on sale. So I could literally, drop a pile of these pens and say, preparing for the book signing, right? You can you can totally, it doesn't have to, like, I hear you saying, "But I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet." You can go to Pop Shelf if you're in Tyler, or if you're in a city that has a Pop Shelf. There's a place called Pop Shelf. You can go to Pop Shelf and they sell pens by the color. You can pick a color that you know is gonna match your book cover, or maybe just pick your favorite color. Like for me, I could totally use, like, I use teal just because it's easy and all it goes with everything. That's part of my branding colors. But in this book, I could also use purple, right? Because purple's on the front. Obviously, I can't use yellow because it doesn't show up. Uh, but teal, you go grab some pens. That could be your first, like, preparing for your book launch moment, right? Grab 5 of them. You're spending less than, $10, and you can film this video, and then you have your pens, you're ready. And then maybe you get a little tub together, and in the tub, like, one video is literally you drop the pens on the table and you're like starting to prepare for book signings. Oh my gosh, can't believe this is happening. The next video is you placing all those pens in a jar, maybe, or in a cup inside of your bin, and say, starting to pack for that book launch. It's that simple. Like, I know it sounds absurd because who wants to watch this stuff? But we all do, and everybody's watching it. They're numbing out to these videos all the time. And when you look at the videos that you're numbing out to, the ones that you're watching, why do you stay there watching? What is it? How are they filming it in a way that's keeping you there? Is it that they're starting maybe off camera and then they're coming onto camera? So for me, like, if I started over here and I just showed you that picture, and then I'm like, B-roll footage coming, right? And then I'm like scrolling across, and then I get to me and I'm like, "Hey, 5 things," like, it's the intrigue of it, I guess, is what it's drawing people in, right? So just be creative in the way that you film it. Obviously, think about, don't make people sick, right? Because that's the last thing. I'm the first to click off when people are like, "Hey," and yeah, I'm the first to click off. And it happens a lot. Like, you can't spin around. You have to do it slowly, right? I may have made you sick just now. But be intentional about what you're showing and move slowly so that people can see it and they're not getting sick. Forward motion is better. That backwards motion, backing away from something, is better. Letting things go by the camera instead of the camera spinning around. Okay. Let's see. Kim says, I like the idea of asking chat. Yep. I've been sitting there thinking that through a lot. Yeah. Ask chat, ask it. Laura says, yeah, because you've been doing those videos. And so you're probably racking your brain trying to come up with the ideas. And if you just ask chat for the ideas, it'll give you some. I know chat does some images. The thing about chat's images is if it does a word overlay on it, sometimes it doesn't do the whole words, at least not on the free version. And I don't know if it does video. So I highly recommend you use the free version to start with, because we don't want to added expenses. Like I've said a million times, your number one expense is editing when publishing, and you want to publish a nice edited book. So don't spend money on things you don't need in the beginning. Use all the free resources you can. Okay. Says, I'm listening, but we'll have to listen again. I'm working on my poetry book that isn't a part of my series. Oh, nice. Great. Are you going to be part of our mini sprint coming up after this? We start at 12:30 today on Zoom. For people in my community, we're having a mini writing sprint today. So let me know if you'll be there in the comments. Just type in sprint, and I would love to see you there. I can tell you, I'm going to be working on a book that some of you have already purchased, and I need to finish up for you guys. Okay. Let's see. So film yourself. If you're going to do a tablecloth, or maybe some kind of decor, or you bought a new guest book or something, any of those things that you're going to be taking to your book signings, you can start making videos up, right? And you can start layering them. Maybe you start with one thing one day, and then the next day you layer and add another thing in, and then the next day 3 things, right? Just think about that. And Kim, you've already done a couple of these launches. So what did you take with you? Do you have some of those items you can use? Okay. The 5th is creative process clips. Okay. This is probably the part where people are like, I'm not sure I want to share that, because you're afraid to start leaking things out. But here's the thing. When you leak things out, people are intrigued, right? And so you can start showing some printed drafts if you've printed out some pages. Maybe it's just one page you print out and you can show it. Um, if you're actually editing on pages where you're writing with a red pen or you're having sticky notes added and you're making notes, all of those little clips where you're showing the creative process is going to get attention. You can also record. This is probably for the more advanced, doing a screen capture of yourself typing on your computer. There's different ways you can do this. Obviously, doing a screen capture is like digitally doing it, or you can set up your camera behind where it sees you typing. Um, you want to do maybe some snippets or maybe a brainstorming session. Maybe you do a little voice memo and record the voice, but not your face, and then lay it over a video where you're just like, okay, today I'm brainstorming subtitles. Here's what I've got so far. And you're just like, blah, 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 blah. And then that voice overlay lays over some of those images that you've created. There's all kinds of creative ways to do it. I suggest you keep it simple to begin with. Very simple. If you have questions, just literally type in B-roll footage in Google and go look at some B-roll content. There's all kinds of content out there right now, and B-roll footage is really making a splash as far as content goes. Used to be they wanted to see your face, but now they're really wanting B-roll, behind the scenes, that creative process. They want to know how things work, right? It reminds me of that show Dirty Jobs. Like, I used to love watching that show because I'm like, how do people do things like this? You know, how do people, like, I'm curious of the how. Well, other people are curious of the how too. And that's why they're watching these B-roll videos, because they want to know how people get from I have an idea to I have a finished book, right? They want to know the how. Now, we don't have to tell them the whole how, but we can give them little clues here and there, right? Um, how you got there. Okay, let's see. Kim says, for my last launch, I put together decor well in advance and could have started to leak that out. Yes, and you can still do it for another one. I think I wanted it to be a surprise, but really others feel more engaged when you bring it into them. Yes, this is the exact thought I had, Kim, about the beach retreat. So I have a ton of decorations for the beach retreat, Jesus tea and writing by the sea. And I recently, over the weekend, I bought even more, because for centerpieces, table decoration, all the things. And because I'm going with like a Bridgerton, Alice in Wonderland tea party theme, right? And so I was like you. I'm like, oh, I'm just going to pack it all away, put it in the shed until it's time. And I literally packed it in bins where I'm like, okay, I don't need to see this again until I get there. And then these things need to be, I need to tweak them. I need to add flowers to them or do this or that. And I had the same exact thought is I should be pulling these out and showing them, right? And showing people like, this is happening. This is really happening. Because I have some really cute things that I've purchased. And so I'm going to do it. I'm going to take the challenge that I'm challenging you guys with and do some B-roll footage. I'm going to challenge myself to post one. That's a lot for me. One per week of B-roll footage of some sort, for the things that I'm marketing. So my books, yes, and the beach retreat, the comfort retreats, all the things. I'm going to challenge myself to start doing some B-roll footage for those things. And as I'm thinking of them, I'm like, oh, I could do that. Oh, yep, I could do that. So for example, I'm going to tell you one of the ideas that I have. So I sell these little things in my store, these little book pen holders. And it's going to be something that if you come to the Create Your Victory Channel retreat in July, you're going to get one of these along with the journal. So you're going to get a journal. You're going to get one of these. And then you're going to get some trim. And you get to pick your trim to decorate your journal with, including papers to make pockets and things like that. Because everyone's getting one of these journals and they're very personal. And so we want to decorate them, first of all, to make them fun for yourself. But second of all, to make sure that you know that's yours, right? So that's one of the things we're going to do to open this session is we're going to do a little y'all know I like that creativity stuff in the beginning. And so it's going to be really short and simple because the things are going to be cut and ready for you just to choose I'm going to put this pocket and it's already going to be made for you. And the trim's already cut to size. And so you're just going to be able to pick your trim size and glue it on there. And I wish I would have brought my other journal in here that I have all trimmed up to show you guys, but I wasn't planning on talking about this. So I'm going to show that. I'm going to make up, that's my next B-roll, or my first B-roll I'm going to do. I'm going to show those items being placed on top of the journal, and then I'm going to actually make the journal, and that'll be my final image in the deal. Because my personal journal hasn't been blinged out, and so I'm going to bling it out. So I'm going to take the challenge. I'm going to do it too. I'm going to show one B-roll thing per week. I'm going to challenge myself. And so I'm going to have to keep it really simple, because you guys know I'm a full-time author. I'm a full-time coach. I'm a full-time box subscription fulfiller, right? I have a writer's retreat box. I'm doing these conferences. So I have got a lot on my plate, and I'm a one-man show for the most part. I have help here and there, but for the most part, it's just me. And so I need to be very careful, just like you, right? I need to be careful of how I use my time and make sure that I'm using it wisely. So I want you to do the same. Here's the thing. If you keep it simple and doable, you will actually do it. If you overcomplicate it and it takes you an hour to do one little 2-minute clip, you're never going to do it. And here's the thing. It doesn't have to be 2 minutes. 30 seconds is great for these little B-rolls. It's just a little teaser. That's all. And where are you going to post these? Where? You're going to post them on your primary social. Where is that for you? Whether it's Facebook, Instagram, YouTube Shorts, TikTok. What is your primary social? Post them there. If you have more than one social and you're comfortable posting them in other places, go ahead and do it. And here's another last secret, and then I'm going to let you guys go. We have, don't forget, Writing Sprint today. If you're part of my community, starts at 12:30 on Zoom. I'll post the link inside of our community group. If you're not part of the group and want to be on that, join the group at publishandtell.com and join the Publish and Tell community, and we'll get you in there. Okay, last tip. Batch your recordings. Batch them. Do them all in one day. Here's the best part about batching these kind of recordings. You don't have to change your clothes or your hairstyle or your whatever. It used to be when we made videos and we batched them, we would literally change our shirt and change our hair and whatever. So it looked like we were in different videos or different days, which was silly anyway, because what does it matter? But nobody's paying that close attention. But with B-roll, you don't have to worry about any of that. All you have to do is have, if you're going to post one a week, you do 4 at a time and do your monthly content, right? Because if you're posting them over on YouTube, you can only post for a month at a time. So write down your 4 B-roll ideas, go record them, post. You can schedule them out and you are done for the month, right? Go to Meta, do it. If you're not sure how to do that, I think I recorded it. Didn't I record that, Kim, when we were on last time? And I posted it in the content library, I think. I'd have to go back and look. It's super simple to do it over on Meta. You go on into the planner feature, and it's super, super simple to do it. I walked Kim through it on our marketing. Now I'm thinking I didn't post it somewhere. So I'm pretty sure I recorded it, but I'm not sure I put it where it needs to go. So I'm going to go look. I want to say I did put it under the marketing module. So, and I even made a post about, hey, this is posted over here for you to find. So check it out. Go look for it if you want to know how to do it. If you don't know how to do it. Wasn't it simple, Kim? Once you found the button, it was really simple to walk through it. And now obviously you're doing it because your posts are showing up regularly. So it's super simple once you see the process and how it works. You guys can do this. I know you can. Okay. Some of you that are on here and are my authors, I owe you book interiors. I'm working on those. Laura, I got your message about the corrections. Jan, I'm finishing out yours. A lot of scripture to subset, so we're working on that. And know that I am working on this, and those will come before the end of the month, or the end of the week, which I guess is the end of the month, isn't it? Okay, that's all I've got for today. I will see you if you're part of the community and want to be on the sprint. I will see you at 12:30. If you're going to be there, let me know in the Facebook group so I just know who I'm expecting and all that good stuff. And I look forward to it. Let me just tell you what else is on the calendar. I always like to keep you guys up to date on the calendar. Of course, next Writing Wednesday, we'll see you back here. If you want to follow my You Matter Mondays, that's on Brenda A. Hare here on YouTube. Brenda A. Hare. And our next, after Writing Wednesday, next Friday, we do have a marketing sprint next Friday, the 6th at 12:30, a marketing sprint. And I've got some good stuff there for you. You don't want to miss it if you're serious about marketing your book. All right, that's what I've got. That's for the community. So I will see you guys at 12:30. Take care. Thanks for being here today. Be sure to like and subscribe. Until next time. Bye.